Pro boxing fans here in Birmingham with Macklin. Matt, we're here. Joshua Buatsi returns after year out. We just seen him in there. There's a bit of tension there. He looked like he had a bit of fire in his eyes there.
Yeah, well, I think he's got probably 12 months of pent up frustration inside of him that he wants to release. Going through legal disputes. I don't think it didn't get to that point, but contractual disputes. It's difficult, it's because your career's on standby until it gets resolved. But that's behind him now. It's back to the business in the ring, and I think everybody is expecting and looking forward to a big performance from Joshua Buatsi to sort of reignite his career, because I don't think anyone disputes that he's got the ability, but you've got to fight, and his career's been very stop-start. It hasn't ever really caught fire and gathered momentum, but look, I think the light heavyweight division is on fire, globally and domestically. I do believe Callum Smith can go and win the world title against Beterbiev. I know it's a tough fight, but I think he can win it. That's probably the missing ingredient to getting these domestic light heavyweights to fight each other, is the world title. So if Callum wins that, which I think he can, him against Buatsi, him against Yard and Buatsi, you know what I mean? It can all happen then, can't it?
Obviously, the fight that everyone's talking about is the Dan Aziz fight, because it makes sense on Sky. He's with boxer, same platform, can make the fight. But in your eyes, what's the best route for Joshua Buatsi? Say on Saturday night he beats Pawel Stepien, convincing fashion, knocks him out, whatever. What fight would you want him to get into after that?
Well, look, I think Callum Smith is fighting Beterbiev. I'm not sure the date's set, but I think they're looking at July, aren't they? If Callum came through that, wins that, and there's no injuries, what about Callum and Buatsi in September? But look, they're going to have their own plans, and if they don't want that fight, if they go a different route, then maybe. What about Dan Aziz? You got British Commonwealth European title. He's with boxer. It's a good fight.
The return of also Ben Whitaker. He's been out since Jeddah, since AJ Usyk. Had a few injuries going on, but he looks confident as always, charismatic. How much of a talent is he? For people that have forgotten of what he's done in the Olympics and what he's done in his amateur, how much of a talent is Ben Whitaker?
Well, he won a silver medal in the Olympics, and they don't just give those away. And he was carrying an injury through it as well. And it wasn't like he was it's not like he just hit form for the one tournament. He was constantly achieving in all the tournaments building up to it. So he's a real talent. I think that he will go all the way. He's not there yet, but I think he will move quickly. I don't think it's going to be too long before he's knocking on the door and chasing at the heels of those other guys we were talking about. 18 months, 2 years, something like that.
Obviously partnered with Sugar Hill. I just wanted to get your opinion on fighters that are going out to America and getting American trainers. We've seen Lawrence Sokoli do it. Obviously Ben Whitaker very early in his career. He's got Joby Clayton here, but obviously he's gone out there. Why do you think that these fighters are going out to the States to pair up with US trainers?
Maybe they feel there's better sparring. Well, it's a bigger. You're opening yourself up to a bigger pool of better sparring. There's obviously great sparring here, but maybe maybe those camps or those gyms want to keep it a bit more insular and don't want to. Maybe maybe the relationships aren't great with certain trainers. I don't know. I'm just surmising, but. Because I'm trying to think, why would you? I went to America as well because you went to a trainer because you thought maybe that trainer will suit your style better at that time. But there is a lot to be said for being settled, being happy, being comfortable. But sometimes you have to go and find that out for yourself. Do you know what I mean? And it works for some people, it doesn't for others. Ben Whitaker, obviously, Sugar Hill's been very successful with Tyson Fury. He's also Sorry.
He's got Lawrence to call.
You know, so it's people think, well, I like the effect, I like the impact he's had on that guy's career. Maybe he can do that for me. You know, you talk ultimately. Great fighters make great trainers ultimately, but that, you know, because we are who we are. But a good trainer can get the best out of you if you get the right guy. But it's not. It doesn't mean this trainer's the best for everyone. It's who you mesh with. It's who you're compatible with, not just technically, tactically, but you know, personality-wise as well. So it's I don't know if that's the right fit for him or it's not. Remains to be seen.
Do you want to talk about a fight that you just mentioned there, Callum Smith against Otto Bertebiev? We saw Otto Bertebiev come to the UK in a great fight against Anthony Yard. His points Anthony Yard you thought was hurting him, but then Bertebiev would sort of flip that on the rope and do what he does. But do you feel like now is the best time for Callum Smith to be facing someone like Otto Bertebiev?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, Callum's the real deal. He's already been a world champion. He's proved himself at super middle. Massive for that weight. So I think, you know, moving up in weight, especially at this stage of his career and of his life, will give him a new lease of life. And I think that's a fight Callum can win. I really do. And like I said, if he does, then that adds the missing ingredient where hopefully these light heavyweights all start fighting each other.
Interesting. I do want to quickly talk about this big tournament that's going to be happening in Saudi. There's talks about it. I know people are talking about figures, about what fighter's going to get what purse. But AJ Fury is the one that everyone's talking about right now. Talk to me about that one. Froch is saying, listen, AJ's past his best. And you know what? It's a dangerous fight for AJ because Wilder could render him unconscious, that's his words. Do you feel like AJ's at that point of his career where we can consider him and Wilder a dangerous fight for him?
Yeah, but also AJ's a dangerous fight for Wilder, you know what I mean? AJ carries power too, and he's a proven top fighter. So, look, is the hunger there? Is the appetite there? Is the confidence there? Is he gun shy now? I don't know. These are questions, I don't know the answers to them. I think that fight's probably a shootout, you know what I mean? They're both big punchers. I think whoever catches who cleanly first, it'll probably be the end of the fight. I think Wilder's probably shown better durability when he does get hurt, like he did, you know, in the last Fury fight. But AJ's a good finisher, so yeah, I think someone's getting knocked out in that fight, and of course then the Usyk and Fury. That's a fascinating match because, you know, even though Fury's proven himself with the Wilder fights, you know, he's outboxed him and he's outfought him. Usyk's a different problem. You know, he's that mobility, his speed of foot, he's ring savvy. You know, Fury's generally cleverer than most boxers he fights. Where I don't know if he's cleverer in the ring. I don't know if he's cleverer in the ring than what Usyk is. I don't know. It's intriguing.
It is intriguing. John Fury did an interview this weekend. He said, listen, people are getting it wrong with AJ. They're trying to physically change him up, but it's about the mental game with him. They need to make sure he's mentally right, or, you know, make sure he's on his game mentally. Do you believe that's the case with AJ? If you can get him mentally right, then physically he'll do what he can do best? Yeah,
of course, absolutely. That's the most important thing. If that's not right, nothing else is going to be right. If that's in a good place, everything else will just follow suit. I guess what he's referring to is his confidence, and confidence is key. You know, you see, and that's not just in boxing. Look at football. You see a striker when his confidence is on a high, he can't stop scoring. He'll hit his leg and go in. You know, when his confidence is on the floor, no matter how hard he tries, nothing can happen for him. So confidence is absolutely a key ingredient in any sport, and with boxing being an individual sport, even more so.
Actually, talking about Tyson Fury, I was watching Tony Bellew. He's on Simon Jordan's podcast. He's got a new podcast come up, and he said something that I wanted to pick your brain with. He said that if David Haye did fight Tyson Fury back in them days, but I know we're talking about Tyson Fury, that he would have beat him. Do you feel like, going back, I know it's a long time ago, if you rewind back to them days, do you feel like if they did share the ring, that David Haye at that point could have beaten Tyson Fury?
Nah, I think he's too small, probably. Probably too small. But, you know, he could bang, couldn't he, Haye? And he was fast and explosive, and he was clever and good too. So, you know, and probably Fury wasn't as good then as what Fury is now. So, you know, maybe. You kind of threw me with that question, really. I'm saying that, and I'm kind of. Look, don't know. Do you know, Fury's so good. He's not just big, is he? You know, he's fast, he's clever as well. He's got ability, but he mentally he's good at beating his opponents. But he's definitely better now than he was when the talk of those fights were happening. And you know, and Haye back then was probably in his prime, wasn't he? If I remember correctly. So a long time ago now, so I can't really remember. But yeah, I don't know. Nah, I think Fury's proved himself, hasn't he?
Final one, and I'm going to put you on the spot. This is going to be a question for yourself, but you're going to have to give me, it's like a quiz. John Ryder is the 8th British fighter that Canelo Alvarez is fighting this weekend. Who are the other 7?
Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Matthew Hatton, Ryan Rhodes.
Spencer Oliver only got 4 as well.
Huh?
Spencer Oliver only got 4.
Jeez.
Highlight reel knockout.
Amir Khan.
Scousers. 2 Scousers. 2 Scousers left. The last 2 are Scousers.
Scousers. I said Cam Smith, haven't I?
There's another one.
One more.
The last 2 are Scousers. One's his brother, Liam Smith. Okay, and then the other Scouser. I'll give it to you, Rocky Fielding. Yeah.
I was there.
So you got a 5. You got a 5 out of 7. Not bad. But yeah, I thought I'd put you on the spot, pick your brain a little bit. But yeah, Matt, thank you very much for talking to us. Obviously a good show on Saturday night. Obviously Canelo's fighting on Saturday night as well.
I mean, I just want to wish John Ryder the best of luck, man. I mean, I think he's probably the most underrated fighter, or underrated fighter that's come out of the UK in many years. Like, nobody has an easy night with him. You know, he's a quiet, softly spoken, unassuming type of character, but very competent, very capable, and I'm sure he'll do himself proud.
Macklin, thank you very much for talking to Pro Boxing fans. Appreciate your time as always. Thank you.